Hi, everyone, and welcome. This is Krishna Priya. This is the Human Colony Hucolo webinar. It's Saturday, the 13th of April, 2024, and we have with us our very special guest, Linus Kordes. I know I didn't say it correctly. Hi, everyone, and welcome to me. And I don't know, it's been years, but I still can never get to YouTube before it starts, so I do apologize for that. But welcome. It's really nice to have you.
Hey, thank you for having me here. I'm very happy to be here again. I think it's my third time, right?
Third time. Yeah.
Yeah, exciting.
Well, I will say Rohaan always leaves us wanting more, so we're happy to have more sooner than later. So that's always good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to the people in the YouTube chat, welcome, and to people in the room, welcome. We'll be taking questions from both rooms, so I'll be watching both YouTube and our room. Sorry for that again. I'm trying to get back to it. I clicked away from it. So why don't we'll start with a blessing announcements and then blessings, and then we'll turn it over to you. How's that sound?
Perfect.
All right. So we have Angie, I'm gonna tell you I don't know much about the classes. So I'm gonna probably skip the classes, or unless you want to say something, maybe just come on voice and do the announcement for the classes.
Sure, that'd be fine.
Okay, Angie's a little ill, everyone, so send healing energy to Angie. Go ahead, Angie, sorry.
Thank you.
I realized I didn't know what to say. Sorry for that. Yeah.
We have our channeling class scheduled for Sunday, May 26th, 1:30 to 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. I will be teaching that class. That class is for the novice as well as the advanced because it's going to encompass many different aspects of channeling. The cost for the class is $150. We have the consciousness class scheduled. It's Saturday, June 8th, 1:30 to 5:30. Jim is going to be channeling in that class, and he is channeling Gurnani, and Gurnani is going to be talking about how to use your consciousness, how to use it not only in your daily life, but also in your channeling and also in, just being able to move and just use your consciousness. That is Saturday, June 8th, 1:30 to 5:30. The cost is $150. We have our gathering scheduled for August 8th, 2024. It is $695. It's all inclusive, lodging and food, and just the gathering with oneness. And we're just adding more and more to it, to our the whole gathering itself. And so it is really turning out to be a great gathering. If you're interested in any of that, the channeling class, the consciousness class, or the gathering, please email classes@hucolo.org and I will get information out to you. Thanks.
And we hope you feel better, Angie. And everyone, just please send healing energy and Reiki if you can to Angie. And thank you. I'm sorry to make you do this announcement.
That's okay. That's all right. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So we will start with a blessing. Wendy's going to do a blessing, and then we'll go right to Linus. Okay.
Yes. Thank you, Krishna Priya. Shu'unyara tahira ta imahira na ku'unyahi shakira tukuma tatatikichunya mahira ta nuru para ko'uyuhuyana.
Thank you for that. Thank you so much. All right.
Blessings.
Blessings. Linus, whenever you're ready, we will start with you, and yeah, we'll see you when you get back.
All right. Well, thanks everyone, and I hope you will have a good time with Rohaan, and I will see you when I get back. All right, hello to you all. How are we doing today? Hello, everyone. Oh, all right.
Yes. Thank you. We're doing well. Thank you so much.
All right, just want to make sure there's someone there. So we will begin this interaction with you all with a sharing. As you are now in the year of 2024, a year that will be more unfoldment when it comes to ET contact and knowing more what is happening, and especially that many of you do have already met us many times, but you don't remember that due to that is happening in another reality, altered reality. So this will be a practice for you that will help to start to bring this to the surface in your conscious mind. So what you can do is when you go to sleep, let's say you go to sleep around 10 p.m. Then you want to set the alarm at 3 a.m. And then at 3 a.m., you're going to do a meditation. The reason why you will wake up that time, because that is when you are most interacting with other dimensions and when you are more open to those frequencies. And therefore, it will be easier to remember things. But what you will do in this meditation is that you will meditate, that you will visualize an ET beam. This can be a gray beam, this can be a Pleiadian beam. It doesn't really matter what kind of beam you do visualize, something that you feel drawn to. And in the mind's eye, you're going to feel also the energy, the vibration, the difference that you know that this being is coming from another reality. And you will tap into that reality and you will overlap your reality to that being reality. And you will stretch yourself more into that reality. And you may feel different vibrations to your energies. You may feel some anxiety, or you might feel very unconditional love. The reason why you may feel fear and so on, having to do with that being coming from another reality, will bring things up to the surface. So if you do feel those emotions of fear, use trust the energy. You can breathe yourself through it. Remember as well, deep breathing helps to transform those energies that is not in alignment with who you are. So always remember that to use deep breathing when you feel anxiety, when you feel fear or stress, use deep breathing will help to transform that. And keep this to a practice. Do it, again, up to you. But let's keep it to a practice of 21 days. Every single night for 21 days. What can happen? Of course, as we always say, do not have any insistence upon this. But what you can experience is that you will feel that something is going on. You will feel that actually that the being is standing there, even if you do have your eyes closed. You may get memories in the meditation, or you may even, the other night, have dreams, or you may even have UFO sightings, or something else. So be aware in many different kinds of ways, in ways that you may not even expect it to come. Therefore, Do not insist that it has to happen in a specific way. Just allow it to flow, allow it to be free, and then you will see what will happen. Of course, you can do this with any kinds of beings, not having to be an ET being. It can be also a spirit or another being from another dimension. So it's really up to you how you like to do this. But remember, 3 a.m. is when you will do this. You can do this how long as you would like to. Approximately, do not more, do it less than 15 minutes, at least 15 minutes. So you're at least creating the energy, the momentum behind it. And then what you can do, if you do this in another session, you may tell us what you experienced. Or if you in a group, you may share this to people there, sharing your experiences. So we'll hope you will have some fun with that. And remember always to have fun. So at this time, if you do have any questions or sharings to us, we will now open up that door for you all. We thank you.
Thank you. Wendy, is the W mean you have a question or?
Oh, that was a typo error. My apologies.
Okay, all right. Well, we do have a question from the YouTube chat. Someone wants to know, Met Wally wants to know, why 3 a.m.? And then he says, is it okay if he stays up till 3 a.m.? Because that's when he usually does. Or do you have to wake up at 3 a.m.? And then he wants to know, is 3 a.m. a special time?
Yes, you first have to go to sleep a few hours. It can be at least 2 hours you need to sleep, and then you will wake up 3 a.m. because then you will first have been in the astral shoulder, say, and then you will bring energy with you when you wake up. And around 2 to 4 a.m., you are mostly then tuned into all the dimensions, but you're mostly tuned into from 3 to 4 a.m.
Okay, and is that a special, it doesn't matter where you live in the world, that's the case, it's just everyone?
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay. Okay, all right. Okay, perfect, thank you. Did anyone have any questions
All right.
for Rohaan or not? If you do, please put a question in the chat. I do have a question for you. Can you describe your world, where you are, and your life as I mean, I know that's a big question, but can you give us a little bit more inkling into what your world is and how you're living?
Yes. In our world, which we do live in parareality, but you could find our world in the constellation of Orion, which will be approximately 500 light years away from Earth, but still in different reality. Our home world is when technology that you will find is very natural. A lot of forest, a lot of plants, a lot of animals, we have a lot of seas. And we have chosen to keep it like that, as when we were created from the beings, as the Greys, they terraformed our planet, so it could be habitable with life. And as we were very connected to that of nature, we didn't want to keep it anything else, as we understood also what happened with the Greys, that they destroy their world with technology. And therefore, we're honoring that and to not do that. We don't live on a planet. We go there from time to time to experience, explore different things there. Although we can, in some exception, create some structure temporarily. But those structure will then vanish when we don't need them anymore. We live on our spacecrafts. We have motherships that we use for exploration in space. We then also have our skullcraft that we use for more planetary exploration when we want to be closer to a civilization, to know more about a culture. This could be in a nutshell, although there are more things to that you can find that how we live. As you know, we live in pure unconditional love. We don't have any kinds of negative belief systems. We trust the life, the way it unfolds. We know that we are creators of our life. Therefore, it is very peaceful in our reality. Myself specifically, as being an individual, and as we are one merit with each other, we still do have individuality. And that's why me being Rohaan, I am a first contact specialist. I am connected with your planet, hence also why I'm coming through this channeler in order to interact with you. I'm helping your planet at this time to go through the transformation, also to bring through this information of who we are, so you can increase your frequency in order to be able to experience contact with our civilization in the future, and of course, other civilizations as well. I have my own skullcraft at Skinwalker Ranch. I do also sometimes have it also in Prague. I do shift from those locations back and forth due to my, well, purpose in life, what I need to do with the energies. I do sometimes explore other planets if I need to have some information from that. But it's very flexible for me how I do that, as I'm not linearly focused in space and time that humans are mostly. Does this make sense?
Yes, yes, it does. It makes me, I have a question about, you're a first contact specialist, but can you tell us for your society, what was your experience when your society went through first contact? How did that work?
Are you referring to when
were,
we experience
yes,
that with another society that came to us?
yes,
All right, well,
yes,
for us, although as we had a head start, we already knew, but yes, we did have that too, that they were a civilization from Sirius. It was the first one that interacted with our society in a physical way. And after that, they became our mentors. But for us, it was very transformative as we find that of excitement to do it ourselves with others' societies. So they helped us to stretch ourselves, beyond the typical borders of our planet. So we were able to stretch beyond that to explore other societies. Does that make sense?
yes, yes. I'm just thinking about where we are in our, people want the contact now, but as far as technologically, we don't know if we're actually ready to go, to other planets, or we could sustain other life for any prolonged period of time in space, other than like our space station.
Yes.
So I'm just wondering at what point was your society at when you actually had this contact? Was there a technological level that you reached, or was it more about a consciousness level that you reached?
It was more about the conscious level for us. And of course, by time, it also advanced our own technology as well, but it was mostly having to do with our consciousness.
I see. Perfect. Okay, and was that in your lifetime, or is that many lifetimes ago that you that happened?
Many lifetimes ago, although
Yeah.
myself can tap into a version of me, so I can get the sensation of that, the experience of that in my time right now, because everything do exist here now, and that's why we're able to tap in to the past, to the future, in the present moment for us.
And how was it received in your society? Were there people that were excited or fearful, or was it a question of
It was mostly perceived as excitement and that of transformation, a new stepping stone for us. Although
Mhm.
there were some mixed feelings, but not that much. But mostly it was more viewed as a stepping stone for us, and we acting upon the stepping stone, and that's how we then, well, were able then to be create our own spacecrafts like that and to explore other civilizations.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Because I can just imagine that the initial contact would come, and then there would be a moment when the governments approve that introduction to the public, or was it so that it was everyone all at once knew? Because I can imagine there would have to be some formal kind of rollout, I would think.
Yes, we did have a council, it's what we could say, that was bringing that to us. We don't really have a government structure like that. It was more a council back then that was
Okay.
more introducing the first of the arrival that something was going to happen, and then we all got prepared for that.
Hmm. Okay, interesting. All right, I'm gonna let someone else ask some questions. It's just a kind of question I had. Michael has a question. Go ahead, Michael.
Yes, with your collective, how do you view Earthlings? We feel so down and out. We have a lot of pain and everything. So, what, do y'all look down, or are we like I have been told we've been that a lot of ETs look up to us because we have so many different DNA from different ETs. But could you? Is there anything that you have on that?
Yes, there are many reasons, and many beings do perceive you in different ways. Specifically, we are family with you because as you have given your DNA to create the hybrid races. So in that sense, we view you as family, brothers and sisters, parents, and so on. And therefore, we are here to assist you climb up the ladder, to assist you in many ways. And even though that people might say that we go through a lot of pains and a lot of negativity, yes, but for us to see what you're going through really also help to us to understand more who you are in that way, because not many souls choose to incarnate in a society like Earth. So therefore, ourselves, we see what you're doing with this transformation, the pain you're going through to transform darkness into light, negativity into positive, and we learn a lot from that. And also the other civilizations that do also observing you, they learn a lot and they take with them back to their culture so they can grow thanks to the earthlings. So that's why there are many beings that are looking up on you, so to speak, because you are strong, you're going through a lot of transformation, also that you have from back to the Anunnaki times when they created Homo sapiens that you are today. They are very curious in your history and that you have many aspect variations in your DNA from many different kinds of ET beings. And they are also curious to see how you would unfold that, activate those markers that has been shut off from past time and now starting to be more activated. So there are many reasons for that. And more of that in your future will be well understood in your own species when you become more like the Anunnaki. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does. Absolutely. And I have just one more question that may help everyone. It's about grounding. So I'm an electrician and I understand that like transform I know primitive that what I do is primitive to you guys. You don't need it, but like transformers, everything needs a path to ground, or it won't work. So, like taking your shoes off, getting into the ground. Could you elaborate on like if that is similar to how our bodies react to grounding, getting out to the earth and, enjoying it, listening and meditating?
Exactly. In the same way, and that's why it's important to also view this also that you need to ground yourself. Remember as well, if you have resistance in the current like this, in a wire, it will be great friction. It will add up and not be able to, well, be smooth. And your energy system works the same way through your own neurological path. So if you do have energy resistance there, it's not going to be flow. It's going to be resistance and it's going to create pain. And that's why you have many, of course, many issues and diseases on your planet because you're creating the friction in your body, not grounding the not grounding the energy. So if you see yourself like that, you can do whatever it takes to ground yourself. It can be through meditation, it can be through physical activities, or simply being yourself as fully as you can. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for helping us. Blessings.
You are so welcome. All right, thank you as well.
Hello, this is Sailesh. We seem to have lost Krishna Priya. So I am not aware of who's next in the queue, but iPhone, you have a question, whoever that is, please go ahead.
Since they're not coming on, I'll go ahead and ask my question. I've been in the queue. Thank you, Salish. Hello, Rohaan. I have noticed
Hello
that
to you.
over the last year and a half, I've been saying that I've had that weird waking up in the middle of the night schedule, and I've had a lot of contact with during astral travel and seeing various ETs or extraterrestrials from different races. But the recent one that I had a few nights ago was actually from Sirius. I was doing a meditation with Sirius elders, and as I was coming out of that meditation or starting to come into more conscious awareness, I always feel the energy, but what I experienced was seeing a large column of blue light and kind of sparkly and kind of misty. And then I could see through it, and it would almost be like looking across the street, a 2-lane road. And on the other side, I saw someone. And then I looked and I questioned, I said, "Who are you?" And then I looked and and then I recognized myself. And so then I heard my consciousness say, "Oh, it's me." So can you tell me a little bit about what that experience was and how other people may be having similar types of experiences?
All right, well, thank you. Yes, you interacted with the Sirius, and that's why you saw the color blue, because they do also represent that color. And why you felt that it was yourself, because it was the future self of you from Sirius that you were interacting with. That's why I felt that it was you, because you there is coming to the past to help the past to move to the future. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, definitely. So I'm connecting in with my future self. But yeah, I definitely saw it was like
Yes.
looking in the mirror. I was like, "Oh, it's me." It was, yeah, it was interesting and exciting.
And you can use this as well, this experience that you have, to tap more into Sirius, that knowing that this also, the light you saw is also a tunnel into the Sirius vibration. So you can tunnel through that in meditation. Remember the state of being you felt like when you had that experience. And then you will become that future you when you're doing that, and then you will be tapping into a serious domain, and then you will be able to have the astral experiences from your future self perspective. And that can be interesting perspective for you because you will see things then in a different way.
Oh yeah, that's very nice. Thank you so very much. Another question that I have is regarding our oceans. I I know that I know that our water is looking for more blessings or people to recognize the water consciousness. And for myself, I'm going to try to have a experience with a dolphin here in another week. But with that being said, how are our dolphins and whales and our water consciousness? Um, how are they wanting us to reach out more to them at this time? Thank you.
Yes, first of all, they want you to be aware that everything in the ocean is consciousness, and that the dolphins and whales and other beings in the water is taking care of that, is bringing it through the vibration. And also, the dolphins and the whales are connected with Sirius. So that's why there are a lot of Sirius vibration in your water as well. And especially if you being with dolphins, swimming with them, you can practice communication with other life forms and tap into the Sirius domain. And then you can be your own vessel to bring through the vibration in the ocean. And then you can heal the ocean, so to speak, clear it up, purify it. So, but again, there are many different kinds of creatures, shall we say, that you haven't found yet. But they're also in the very depths of your oceans and even also bases, ET bases as well. That is also helping with the water because it's very important at this point that the water is there because the energy that is coming to your planet goes also through the water. And therefore, because the water also leaves the energy very great. It's like currents, speaking of that. But if there is then resistance in the water, then it can be resistance there. That's why you do experience as well. Sometimes as well, tsunamis. Sometimes as well, the water is increasing because there is turbulence in the energy. That's why if you yourself want to take care of that, be with the dolphins, be aware that it's consciousness, and do whatever you can to take care of that, to take care of the water. By being pure in yourself, being grounded in yourself, will help that. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you very much. That this conversation today was a nice expansion in my consciousness. Great blessings to you.
Thank you as well.
Thank you. I'm back. Sorry for that. Salesh has a question. Go ahead, Salesh.
Yes, hello, greetings, Rohaan.
Greetings.
Okay, for me, what it is, I'm fully aware that past and future lives are all happening at this present moment. I would just like to know if which ones of my lives have a major influence in this particular life of mine at this present moment.
It will actually be viewed in a past tense from the Atlantis time that you will find around in the past 10,500 BC in the Atlantis time. So you have a strong connections there. And the past is working like this for you now to help the future you because, well, it will also be a new Atlantis in your future. So you are connecting to the past and bringing that energy to the future. You're working with those two, shall we say, realities.
Okay, and any from the future life that's influencing me?
That will be in on the same time with the future Atlantis, but also to the Pleiades that represent your future timeline. and that you can utilize the Atlantis connection to the Pleiades, and then you can have communication from those two times, shall we say, and that can help the present you to know more of who you are, knowing your connections to the past and the future. So the idea here is that the Pleiades will represent the ET vibration, and the Atlantis will represent the ancient human vibration. So then you can combine that two together, and then you have something unique in the co-creation of the past and the future. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Hi, there's a question from the YouTube chat, and let me just read it. It's from Nancy Pants. She says she's happy she caught this. She says, "Is our sun part of a binary system? If so, can you tell us about the other sun? Also, can you name the 12 original planets in our system?"
Well, first of all, is that what she's referring to is, yes, you do have another sun, but not in your typical reality. It's in another reality, a parareality. And remember, even if there are many pararealities, they still do interact with each other. And that's why people can interpret that as being, well, two suns in your reality, but it's still in different reality. And well, you do have more planets as well. Planets that is in your reality that hasn't yet been discovered, and that is even more than 12. And there are also others coming into your reality from another reality that is now overlapping with you, but this will be where you will know more about your history. You are aware again of the Maldek, now being your astral belt. It's an important factor in your history. But there are much more things there that when you do have open contact with us, we're going to tell you, deliver you through a history, so you will know actually the origin where you reside in your solar system. And there is life forms in your solar system that is more than primitive, though.
The life forms are primitive?
Yes, you will find that on Mars, a primitive life form that hasn't left Mars, because Mars in the past was like Earth, but was then wiped out due to an asteroid impact. But the life form there was surviving, not all, but some of them survived and has remained there since then. So they are taking care also of certain things in your solar system.
I understand. Thank you for that. I'm watching the chat because there's a delay. Of course, her response will be slower. But
Yes.
one moment. So I apologize. I can't close my door or I'll lose my Wi-Fi signal. So there's a question from Swazi, and she says, "Does the sun have a personality? And being ruled by Leo, is the sun having more influence?"
Well, you can interpret that as a personality, though, because everything is consciousness, and it can be depending on, well, the sun has different kind of like aspect to it in its consciousness levels. Is you have then the higher aspect of it, you have then a middle aspect of that, you have also a lower aspect of the sun. So it's more in the lower, well, realm that you will find a personality structure to that. And this can be then interpreted as into your Earth society as having a personality, because you're interpreting the consciousness of your sun. And this is one way that you can get to know more of your sun, the history also of your sun, by tapping into the consciousness of that. But not directly a personality that you would understand that to be. It needs to, depending on the aspect levels that you're tapping into. Does that make sense?
I believe so.
All right.
Swazi have to answer because it was her question. But just to go back to Nancy, she was saying, she's aware that there are new planets that are going to be coming online. That's why she was interested on the original 12. And she wanted your take on the original 12 planets.
We're not really able to comment on that, but at this moment, because it needs more of other things happening in your society before we can give more news upon that. But it will not be the long future, but we have to wait due to it's not really relevant for us to go into that at that moment in details.
I have a question about contact and consciousness.
Yes.
Again, going back to your experience of from your society, what was that thing that brought everybody into that higher consciousness of openness, of oneness, was there a calamity? Or did you just never have the duality that we have?
We had similarity to the way you are experiencing now, not to the extreme though, but for us, we have an awakening moment, what we have referred to as our Shakana experience. This happened in the course of 3 days on a planet where there were a being incarnating in our society. And when that being incarnated, it transformed our whole society. So for those 3 days, we all became quiet. We didn't speak anything at all. We really got more in touch with ourselves. So after those 3 days, we then all became telepathically with each other. And that was the awakening and how we was rising up in our consciousness through those 3 days of the Shakana experience. This can be viewed as Buddha, it can be viewed as Christ and so on in your society, that you can have a reference point to that vibration that we experienced.
That's interesting because I can imagine people in your society some of them were working towards this, but it's really when the entire consciousness of a society shifts. That's what made me interested. I will tell you something just as an aside. I channel my higher self called Theos. And when I asked them where they are, they said they exist within you call it Shekana, but I will say the way that I pronounce it is Shekinah, that they exist within that energy. So that was just a nice some things to add. But thank you for that.
Yes. Thank you too. Exciting.
Yes. Cami in the YouTube has a question, and she says, the eclipse is past. So is it a reasonable question to ask what are the results of that event?
You will find that, of course, depending on the time and that, but you will find more things happening, more transformation of the eclipse. You will find that people now have brought things up to the surface, certain kinds of things, and you will see more changes within people, the decision, also globally as well. You will find that things will start to change more in your society bit by bit, because this eclipse also had a lot of importance vibrationally to your planet. But it will take time before you see things happening like that. But you will see, first of all, within human individuals, a lot of things happening there. This can also come to different ways of issues that might come up to the surface temporarily, and that you need to let go of, you need to transform that, and therefore is to using the higher energy of yourself, your higher mind, if you want to have a reference point to a higher vibration, that can clear that pathway for you out. And knowing that it's temporarily, whatever you're experiencing, if there will be something like that, it's a natural process to clear up things within you so you can be more aware of things happening, that you can be more of yourself in your true core vibration. So that is what you can experience.
Thank you for that. Joan has a question. Go ahead, Joan.
Thank you. Greetings. I've I've been waking up every morning at maybe around 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning, and I do meditate that early in the morning. And sometimes they're giving me some vivid dreams also. And I feel like when I meditate during in that morning, I have they I feel this so much energy, this heaviness to my body, and I feel like they are observing. I don't know what is that. They're observing me, this different species, and I don't know what is uh why they giving me this so much. I can feel it through my spine, but there is something in the crown that I can't. Is or maybe like in the third eye I can see a tunnel of lights, but I don't know where am I going, what they're what's that process they're doing to me. I mean, you know.
Yes, they're helping to let go of old energy patterns, also old belief systems. So therefore, they are bringing certain energies to you that the old patterns within you reacting to. That's why you feel the load of energy, you can feel heaviness or other symptoms, and why you feel that during those hours like that, because again, you're more open to those dimensions, and you can more easily transform that without having to create so much of that during the day and so on, even if you feel that some degree anyway. But just knowing that what you can do yourself is that when you feel that, is to meditate and visualize a blue orb coming through your crown and through your whole chakra system and out through your whole body. This will help to let go of that resistance, and it can flow through you more easily and help to transform the old energy pattern. So the blue ball coming closer through the crown and then out through your whole body. When you feel that, you can do that. And usually what you'll feel, even after one attempt of doing that, you will feel more easily because you then have let go of the overload of energy. So you may want to try that and see how you feel about that.
Yeah, that okay, that's beautiful. Thank you for that. I just want to have another question. If the blue avian is from Sirius?
They're not from Sirius, although they have connections to Sirius. They are from a different place. You can find as well, they have, well, turned into the blue avians because before that they were different beings, but they have now like turned into the blue avians. But they have very strong connections to Sirius, but they do not reside from Sirius like that, in the way that you ask in the question.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank
You're
you.
welcome.
There's a question in the chat from who's from Thunder Higher Self, and the question is, how do you view Elon Musk's plans to go to Mars? I guess the question is, would he be successful? I would suppose.
Yes, we perceive it as being successful because also that he is an important individual when it comes to space. And as we have all said before, there has been other attempt to go to, well, Mars with 2 astronauts, but has been like declined, interfered by other beings because that was the meant to be hidden from the main societies, the mainstream. But with Elon Musk, it will be more for your society to know what is happening, and therefore we see it as to be positive, because when they do that, you will find some of these primitive life forms and certain structures on Mars. So you will know at that time that you're not really alone, so to speak, even though you will know that before you go to Mars, but you will have more like evidence in your reality that things has happening in your past. But before that, you'll find more proof on the moon because next year your astronaut will go to the moon and then they will find certain bases there from ETs.
Is that going to be made public, or is that something that's
Yes.
going to happen?
Yes,
Yes, it will be made public.
public.
Okay, perfect. And that's in 2025.
Yes.
Okay, great. All right. There's a question from, let me see. I'm so sorry. I just want to make sure Haymet Wali is his name. He wanted to know what you look like, but he also asks, are you genetically connected to the Anunnaki?
Yes, well, we are connected to the Anunnaki genetically because, well, as you are that, and as you have created our species, so in that sense, we are, well, also genetically related to Anunnaki. But our appearance look different than human appearance. We are, of course, humanoids, but we are a hybrid species, and our skin is white gray, pale skin. We are about 5 feet tall. The men do not have hair. The female do have hair. Our eyes will be similar to the Mongolian type. Upward eyes. We do have pupils. Our color is blue grayish. Our nose is thin. Our mouth is thin. Oral body slender.
Is there any need to exercise, or is that something that's not, I mean, I know you have slender bodies, but are there more muscular versions of your species
No.
or no?
No, we do not exercise like that because we are in a certain frequency point that we are directly living in the energy there. It support our body as we're not directly so solid in the physical reality as you are, even though we can be in the physical reality, but we are more quasi-physical, and that's why we don't need so much of physical activities. We use more energy directly to fulfill our body needs and so on.
Thank you for that. Swazi says, what were the beings of Maldek like, and are they on Earth? And when they were on Earth, what were they called? I think that's what she means.
Yes, first of all, it's going like this. The cycle was first from the Orion Wars, and then the souls from the Orion then escaped to, well, put it this way, to your solar system, and the first then place was Maldek. And still there, the being still going through there when the incarnated on Maldek transformation, negative into positive, and then through all the negativity there, as it could not transform it directly, it then attracted an asteroid impact that wiped the planet out, and that's why it became now the asteroid belt. So when that happened, the Maldek beings then escaped to Mars, incarnate on Mars, and at the same time going through transformation there, negative into positive, transforming that. But it was still so much momentum, so much energy of negativity there. So again, they attracted another impact that then wiped out Mars' atmosphere and turned Mars to be what it is today. But it was a less impact because it didn't really wipe off the whole planet as with the Maldek becoming the new asteroid belt. So it was a less impact energetically to demonstrate that it was less of that negative energy. But still, they could not live there. So then the souls find Earth, incarnated on Earth. And that's why on Earth you have this transformation, and you have now the destructions and so on, natural disasters. You do have also have impact and so on the planet Earth. But it's not that much as it was before in the cycles. But Earth is also now a place where it's not going to be like that, although there are parallel versions of Earth that do have destroyed themselves like that. But the Earth now has cycles upon cycles. So which means that you also like our Earth to learn that more and not necessarily to attract a disaster that will wipe that out. But again, going back now to the Atlantis time, well, the Atlantis attracted an asteroid in the Atlantic Ocean, the destruction of Atlantis. Same thing there, energy there. So then they needed to escape that. But it was not that big that would destroy the whole climate. So you have all of that in your society. So, well, you can say that you are technically Maldek beings in a sense, not directly, but you do have connections like that. It's a long, long history about that, but this will be in more in a nutshell. But we can go more into that as well. In the future, going from Maldek, Mars, Earth, Anunnaki, and so on and so forth, to who you are today and who you will become in the future.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Mary has a question. Go ahead, Mary.
Blessings. It's a pleasure for you to be here. Thank you so much.
Oh, well, thank you.
I would like to ask a quick question. Well, actually, this would be coming what I would feel like from my higher self. I feel like I need healing. I am an older person, and even now I feel like that I don't exactly know what the purpose of this incarnation in this life actually is. I am hearing that I need this knowledge in order to raise the star, to go up the stairs that I am building into heaven now. I'm making those and I'm ascending now up those stairs, but I need this grounding. And any knowledge that you can give to me on this grounding, help me heal so that I can understand what I need to know to ascend, please.
All right. First of all, what you can apply here to think about the ground as you are ascending into the heaven like that is to think as above, so below. This will help to not create the separation between, like say, the ground and the heaven. So you're going to bring, well, the earth, so to speak, the ground, with you as you're going upwards. You're not going to leave that. You're going to bring that upward because it's the same thing as above, so below. And this will keep the balance. And the healing that you're referring to, you feel you need a healing because you are creating the separation, the disconnection from, well, earth and heaven. But if you understand there are just different frequencies, but it's still also earth can be in heaven and vice versa, you're not going to then leave anything behind. You're going to take that with you, and then you will take the healing with you because you are also Christ consciousness. But you have to allow that to come through you in a groundness way without having the disconnection part of it. So remember, bring the earth up, and even
Up.
bring the heaven down. So
Bring the
as
heaven
above,
down.
so below. This will be the balance like this. And knowing that you are already in spirit and having a physical dream that you have left the spirit reality, but you have not. It's only an illusion. So do not create the separation like that, knowing that, okay, I am already in spirit. I am already having this spiritual experience in heaven, but I'm dreaming that I have left heaven. So you're going to bring the awareness up. That's why you are ascending, and you are ascending to the awareness of who you are, of how all of this works. So then you can do what you need to do there and having perfect health because you're then residing in the Christ consciousness, that high vibration, without creating friction as you're bringing it down and vice versa upward to you. So remember, as above, so below. Keep that in your vocabulary. When you're doing this, you will feel easier, you will feel more flow.
As above, so below.
Yes.
Blessings. Thank you so much.
We thank you.
Thank you so much. Wendy has a question. Go ahead, Wendy.
Thank you. As you were talking about our connection to Atlantean times, I was just listening to the Emerald Tablets and was wondering about what the draw is to the Emerald Tablets or how those are important as guidance for us.
Yes, in many ways they are important because they do also have a lot of key factors in according to true history and also have different kinds of, well, energetically references to different elements that can be provided in your society today and do also serve to the whole picture, again, to the Anunnaki time. So they are very important energy structures vibrationally like that for what to come. They will be interpreted more understandable when you're heading towards your future more and when you're interacting more with certain beings.
I see. Yeah, when I was listening to it, they were saying to, read it 100 times, or in this case, I guess listen to it 100 times. But I thought that I had a very strong understanding of it. I was like, oh, I completely get it after I heard it the first time. So, but I am inclined to listen to it again, even though it was very long. Is there a difference between listening to the vibration of the book versus actually reading it?
It depends. Usually reading it would be actually more, well, better in that case, because then you will literally read that, you will feel the vibration behind that. And how many times you can do it, 1 or 100 times, it doesn't really matter. Matter is what you do and how you feel with that. You may need it to do 1 time or 5 times or even 100 times. So you have to be connected to what you need in order to, well, have a understanding of that.
I see. Well, the words were showing up on screen at the same time, so I did read it while it was playing, but also missed parts of it. So I could see listening, reading slash again. So thank you for that information. Thank you so much.
We thank you.
Thank you. There's a question there's 2 questions in the chat. One was have met Wally makes the comment, and it's also a question of, it sounds like you were involved in the Orion Wars. Were you? And meaning your society. Were you also involved?
No, because our society were not like born that time, although as we will have soul incarnations here, yes, as we do have. So that is more what we are referring to, but not as a species like that.
Okay. Okay. And then there was a question about the eclipse that said there were objects that were seen flying by the moon. Is there, I know the question says, curious to know what the objects were flying by, caught on camera during the eclipse. Do you have a comment?
And the reason why we do that, because we know that then you will look up to the sky. So that's why we and many beings do showing ourselves, because we know that you will see us, and that with the moon was to demonstrate to you that we are on your moon, to give you that vibration, that connection to you, and that you are going to the moon, and that you will find certain bases on the moon when you do go there.
Understood. Nancy Pans has a question. She said, it's my feeling that the Earth's chakras are moving, thus an increase of seismic activity and volcanic eruptions. Can you give insight as to where the chakras may be moving to? I guess the question would be, are they moving? And if so, where?
They are more like moving upwards, but you will find ascending to a higher frequency state, although they can be interpreting as moving, depending that as well, that they might also connect to in other places to connect to all the chakras, but they're more to say that they're ascending higher as you're going through the transformation.
I understand. Thank you for that. I don't know if Catherine has a question in the room. I don't know if she can unmute. If not, I'll ask her a question for her. Catherine, can you unmute or not? Can you just type yes or no in the chat if you can? Or we'll give you a second. I guess if you unmute, then we know that you can. All right. I'll just ask. She says, when I was a little girl, I had night visitors that would wake me up at 3 o'clock and take me on board a ship. Who were they? They told me they would visit again when I was elderly. I am now 85. Where are they?
Yes, this is the beings you know as the Greys. They are responsible for the hybrid program, but you will find also the abductions on your planet. They were there taking you because you have given your agreement to participate in that agenda to give you DNA, and in other ways too, that you have given your agreements with. And why they would say they will come back was because they will observe you through your lifetime, see how you're doing, see how you're progressing, because as you have given your DNA, they are also curious to see how you will unfold, how you will live your life, because the Greys also want to learn more about, again, the human emotions, because as they are themselves mutated humans, so they want to regain that back, the knowledge to a degree back. Although they was viewed to you in a different way, but that was mostly due to they not directly would like to scare you, if that's what they're saying. So they may have been taking different forms from time to time.
Okay, thank you. I just will give her a moment to respond because she's typing. So did I misunderstand that they wanted to scare her or they did not want to scare her?
They did not want to scare her, so that's why they sometimes can put different mask appearance that you're more like okay with, more compatible with to see, rather than seeing a gray face with big black eyes, so to speak.
Okay. How would the Greys regain emotion if it's something that is emotion? Is it? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, how would they regain emotion if they're incapable of emotion?
Yes, first of all, it goes like this. As they created, first of all, us as having now 50-50. We have 50% of the gray, 50% of humans. We then have a balance with emotions. So in order for them to know, they thus creating other species, hybrid species. So they are then observing through humans, and they will extract so in that DNA and bring that into the species that they are creating. Although as individual as themselves do, they can learn, as they have learned that through your abductions, through the time how you have responded to that. So they have learned small things, not so much things, because they're still incapable of completely themselves understanding human emotions, but they have learned to adapt more a degree by your behaviors. And they have had the mantis beings that has guided them on the emotional path. So they are at this point more understanding your emotions due to all of the abductions that they have witnessed.
So, but they still don't actually feel things like compassion or understand. They don't feel it, but maybe they could
No.
express it based on they know that it would be
Yes.
the correct response to an emotion. Is that right?
Yes, that's how they do it more. They can like understand it to a degree like that. Yes.
I mean, that's actually how sociopaths also learn to function in society. They learn by observing, and then they produce a correct response based on
Yes.
based on what they know would be the repercussions if they, you know, if they
Exactly.
didn't give that
So
response.
the Greys are then sociopaths in a funny way. So at this time, we will now thank you all for the interaction with us in this day of your time. We have been sending to you all our vibration to you, and we will be sharing more of your history and your future, more of the Anunnaki, more of the solar system and so on, and how you can bring this to your present time, more of knowing who you are, knowing who we are. And we're looking forward to be with you all on this journey. And one day we can all interact in a physical way. So we thank you all for this. Hatu, goodbye.
Thank you so much.
Everyone, how did it go?
Yeah, it went really good. I actually cut off right before you finished. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to what you said, but I was having a thought about people with, no emotions, and we have people on our planet that don't experience emotions the way that most people do. And I was just trying to see if there was a parallel between those people, or the people that don't have the capacity to experience emotion, and a race of beings that don't. And I'm wondering, because it is a genetic abnormality, I'm wondering how close are they closer to what the Greys are than what maybe even within our society than maybe someone who is experiencing emotion. That was kind of where I was going to go, but I cut out. So I could explore that with you another time, or with Rohaan another time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you remember what you talked about, or no?
A little bit. I can like, if I think about that, then I can remember something, but usually I don't remember so much of the session.
Well, it was a beautiful session. I'll just take our word for it. It was a really nice session. So thank you. A lot of great information.
Great. Happy to hear that.
Yeah. So we will definitely have you back if whenever you're ready. You just let us know when you're ready to come back, and you are 100% invited. So
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me here.
thank you so much, and much love to you, and blessings to you.
Thank you. Goodbye,
Thank
everyone.
you. Bye-bye. So Angie, how are you feeling? Do you have the bandwidth to do some announcements or not?
I can.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we have our channeling class scheduled for Sunday, May 26th, 1:30 to 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. The cost is $150, and it is I'll be teaching that class. It's going to encompass many different types of channeling, and so it would be instructions on all of that. If you're interested in that, you can email classes@hucolo.org. Cost is $150. We have the consciousness class scheduled. It is Saturday, June 8th. Jim will be channeling that class. He'll be channeling Gurnani, and that is how to use your consciousness in a very real way. It is 1:30 to 5:30 Eastern Standard Time, and the cost on that is $150 as well. We have the gatherings set up for August 8th through August 12th, 2024. And I'm looking so forward to really having lots of different people come in and offer different activities. So that is $6.95 a person, and it's all inclusive lodging and food and the gathering itself. If you're interested in any of those things, please email classes@hucolo.org and I will get information out to you.
All right. So thank you for that. I'm actually standing outside now. So because my internet is for some reason not working. So thank you everyone for being here. Can we have someone do a blessing to take us out? Who can do a blessing? Anyone? Anyone? Wendy, it's up to you.
I'm happy to do it. I've been sitting in
Okay.
some very exciting energy. So if everybody can just, I do translations too, but it usually comes in as a thought form download. So if you want me to do the translation, I'm happy to do that as well.
Well, see what comes through, and then if you have a translation, please go ahead and share it.
Okay, thank you. Shu'unyera ka ita thahuina mara tu ishi pokuhira ma kuchichiriana shi anana ita tukuhu po ina era tapapa ki kapahi no noira pa ina no shi chuchuina ma he tukuina ma eta nuhu kuira pa ki ituko nia nuat sha nuat ni iru nu uhira ta kia. One moment. We send our great love to you all. This was a perfect conversation for the day as the energies are truly rising as the sun has sent down a multifarious amount of light codes to this dimension, this planet, and the information that has been shared here today is going to brighten and enlighten your soul consciousness to the awakening of that contact that will be coming forth as Rohaan has discussed. So eyes to the skies, hearts open, and have thoughts of kindness and love. Give grace to your planet and be in connection and more divine connection with yourself, with your cells. That's all I have. Thank you. Blessings. You're on mute.
I know I couldn't unmute myself. I'm pushing the button on the phone and it's like popping up, popping down. But anyway,
That's
well,
fine.
we're at the end. So, but thank you for the beautiful translation. Thank you to everyone in YouTube, to everyone in the room. And then next week, Jim will be back. So have a fantastic week. Please send lots of healing and energy to Angie. Help her feel a little bit better so we can have her back to her bright, sparkly, shiny little self. So we miss you, Angie, when you're not feeling good.
Thanks.
All right, everyone, have a wonderful, wonderful week, and we'll see you next time. Thank you, everyone.